Let's talk about Flickr today. Is it 2007? No, it's 2019, but Flickr is poised to be an important social network for photographers again. Let's get into 4 ways to make that happen. I'm Aaron from techphotoguy.com. Please subscribe to my channel so that you'll get all my latest updates, and let's talk about Flickr today because it's making a comeback and it's going to be a big deal for photographers in 2019 and beyond. Flickr was really popular 10 years ago, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2009. But what happened is Yahoo neglected it, and photographers moved on to other social networks such as Facebook and Instagram. But what we're finding is that those broader social networks aren't all they're cracked up to be, especially when it comes for photographers and people who are looking to show off their work in a great fashion without a lot of cruft around it. Let's talk about the 4 things I think you should do to get back into Flickr as a photographer, whether you were there originally or whether you're just starting out. The first thing that you'll want to do to get back into Flickr is start sharing your work on Flickr, which sounds super obvious, but it's what I feel that you need to do. Don't spend forever fretting about all the other things. Start sharing a few images up on the social network. Number 2, get your metadata in order. Flickr is one of those rare places online that actually let you share your metadata in a meaningful way with people viewing your photography. This includes things like geolocations, tags on your images or keywords. Optionally, you can include all your camera and EXIF information, and people will be able to see what you were using to make your images. If you have all that information on your photos as you upload them to Flickr, that information will display along with your photos. And that's one of the strengths of Flickr as a community for photographers, is that a lot of people are willing to share this information and it helps everybody out. Number 3, if you're going to be serious on Flickr, is to go pro. No, not that kind of go pro. Go pro by getting a Flickr Pro account. It's about $50 a year, although you can often find a coupon to save a few dollars on that. But what that does is a couple things. One is that it ensures that your images are displayed without advertising, not just for you, but for anybody viewing your photos. And I feel like if you're trying to share your photos off in a way that everybody's going to appreciate, they're going to like not seeing your images with advertising around them. The second thing that going pro will do is it gives you some advanced statistics so you can see just how many people are viewing your images. I just realized I recently passed the 1.8 million view mark for all of my work on Flickr. Another thing that going pro will give you is it gives you some discounts on products and services from companies like Adobe, Blurb, Peak Design, and SmugMug. Who could have thought? Anyway, the most important reason to go pro on Flickr, though, is that you are helping sustain the site. Unlike social networks like Instagram and Facebook and other sites like that where they depend on advertising for the bulk of their site's revenue, Flickr is looking to build a community of serious photographers who are willing to pay to have a serious photography website. And by supporting Flickr by going pro, you help ensure that that's going to be sustainable in the long run. If we depend on advertising, we end up right where we're at with all the other social networks. And I don't think we want to be there. All right, let's talk about the 4th aspect to going serious with Flickr, and that is Flickr groups. The groups and community aspect of Flickr was one of its strengths when we go back to the heyday of Flickr, and I feel like this is what can help bring it back to life. Now, what you'll find as you start exploring Flickr is that a lot of the groups that were once strong have maybe faded out, but what you'll also find is that there's new ones taking their place. For example, I live in the Portland area, and there was a Portland community that used to be really active. We had a lot of meetups and things like that, and it's faded out. But as it's faded out, what I've seen is that a couple of their local photographers have started a new, PDX photographers group because they want that one to be strong and take off for the future. So poke around the groups, spend some time exploring, and see what you can find. The subject area groups around specific subjects of images are still active and can often be a great way to get your photos found. All right, so we talked about sharing your work, getting your metadata in order, going pro, and using Flickr's groups as a way to start seeing success again on Flickr in 2019 and beyond. I think if you go out there, you do those 4 things, you're going to find that people will find you on Flickr as it becomes a thing once again. If you haven't already, subscribe down below to my channel. I want to make sure you guys stay in touch with all the latest things I'm doing. Check out techphotoguy.com, and I'll see you again next week.